Let's talk about your journey. We've been talking about journeys to inspire the journey, right? Let's talk about
The
your
journey,
career
the
journey,
journey.
right? So obviously you're
Yeah.
right. So you are where you are where you are because obviously you had to travel a certain route, right?
Mm.
What? How do you manage expectations of others who may be on the same path as you are?
I started out on a route to do become a graphic designer, a web designer. It was big in that
Mm-hmm.
time, it's like being a web designer is now the thing to be. So I
Mm-hmm.
started out on this route, and halfway through, I realized, okay, the institution at what I was studying at isn't gonna cut it. Because and I had to make a change. That's when I came to the big city to do further the studies in a more reputable institution, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I completely flunked out, like completely, solidly. It didn't work out at all. So big life lessons there. So then the question comes, so what do you want to do? It's like, what do you want to do with your life? I mean, when
Mm,
you're still around, grade 11, 12, you don't really know what you want to do with your life. You haven't
mm,
had, your life experience has been about going to school, writing exams and things like that. And now suddenly you need to know what you want to do for your life. Um, it was hard. It was really hard. And even worse, growing up on a small town, you didn't have a lot of experience outside of the normal day-to-day things. That's so
mhm,
the half of the world you don't really know about if you haven't had the experience of or exposure to that.
mhm,
So eventually coming to the big city, then it's like, okay, you have to go work. You don't know what you want to do. Go work for a year and figure it out. And then we'll go back to see what is life gonna what doors is gonna open. So I started working as a frontline teller at one of the big banks, and I was there just for a few months. Then I realized, okay, I want to be. Can you believe this? I wanted to be an internal auditor. I actually
Wow.
chose that.
I admire and have nothing but respect for those guys.
Me too, me too. It's quite a hard job, let me tell you.
It is.
So I eventually did my studies in that and then started working as an internal auditor in public sector. So we were doing performance audits for public sector. It was a
Mhm,
very hard job, had to travel far, all those things.
mm,
Because majority of the departments are actually not necessarily located within Gauteng.
mhm,
So yeah, lots of travels. In that time, in that year, I was actually getting married as well. So it was very hard to manage being a junior internal auditor and then planning a wedding and
mm,
all these things. So yeah, that was hard. So I then decided, doing all this traveling and stuff's not gonna, it's not for me. It was really breaking down our relationship and all that. I did ask actually if I could come closer and rather do audits closer to home. But unfortunately, at that time, it wasn't possible. So I did then apply for other work opportunities, which I then found. And I must say, that was a great opportunity. It was really a great one. I was with that company for over 12 years before it was time to jump to the bigger bowl. Then say you're first in the small fish bowl, and then you grow
mm,
out of that one, and you need a bigger one, and then you need a bigger one.
mhm,
So eventually got to that point where it was just time to go look for something different. So otherwise, no, I wasn't unhappy or anything. But my big journey there is that I grew from being an internal auditor to a senior auditor to joining the operational risk department, and from there on, it became the
mm,
ITGRC. So yeah, so that's how I basically grew and progressed throughout my career. Additional studies throughout, but it was very integral in between as well, and it was quite interesting that majority of the opportunities I got throughout my career, and even now, was actually given to me by men.
mm.
Funny enough, ne? And I think
Yeah.
one of our discussions we had is how many
Mm,
opportunities are we as women giving each other?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make a point of it, of saying
Mm.
my journeys were successful because of men that was instrumental in my career path.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I'm to this day very thankful to each and every
Mm.
one of them that actually helped me grow to
Yeah.
where I am today.
Yes.
Um, all the people you work with at the end of the day play a very important role in who you become. I don't know if you
Correct.
had the similar experience, but I definitely.
For me, it's look, I did have a lot of experience where men opened the first door, and then once I was in, I had a lot of very strong women who actually I respect to this day, who actually held the door open for me. And I think because of those opportunities and those doors and those hands that, left those doors open so that you and I can get through, I think we
Mm,
owe it to the world to do the same, right? To open
indeed.
doors for other people. Awesome. Great. With that
Awesome.
being said, I'd like to thank you for your time. And yeah, it was interesting. It was really lovely to get to know you on an intimate level. And I'm sure the viewers out there, we are going to awesomely enjoy this conversation.
Oh, thanks,
Have a
Lineo. It was
lovely
very nice
evening.
chatting to you.
Better. Awesome. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.